This is the Business Intelligence webinar. We are releasing the Business Analytics tool today. This is the reason for the webinar, is that we wanted to get a little bit more in depth with the tool and let everybody know that it is going to be available. It's a permission-based tool, and so we will be giving that out primarily first to the people that attended the webinar, and then later we'll be hitting the rest of our clientele. And so feel special that we're giving it to you guys first, and also it's a way of us thanking you for attending the webinars that we're putting on. To let everybody know, this is a recording of the live webinar. There were some audio issues in the original, and so we have re-recorded it to be able to send out to the other to you later on. I am Charlie Juergens, and I started with TCN back in 2012 while I was attending the local university. TCN was a great start. Started in the customer service area, and so with that I was able to get to know quite a few of you as clients in there. I've had many different positions at TCN, including the reactivation, where I was able to speak with clients and work with them after they've decided that they didn't want to continue with TCN. I was able to hear kind of the things that they were concerned about and their worries and their concerns. I'll get a little bit more into that later on, because that kind of ties into business analytics. And let's move on from there. Kind of an outline here. What I want to show you, there have been other business analytic webinars. I'm not going to focus too much on the navigation. It's an easy-to-use tool. I feel like just a little bit of playing around, you guys are going to be able to get into it and be able to figure things really quick. What I do want to show you is the benefits of what the graphs are showing. Not only the benefits, but also what the difference is between the paid subscription and also the free version that will be released. As it says here, the reason that we have the business analytics, a lot of the times we notice that clients will spend just way too much time poring over their reports, looking at spreadsheets, compiling them, pulling things out, trying to find out one little piece of information, but you've got to add up so many different points in order to get that. This BI tool will be able to show you everything that you need to know, and if you don't need the rest, it can cut that out in seconds. It's not something that we're hoping takes up all of your time. We're hoping that you can set it into place and then just forget about it. Come back to it every once in a while and make sure that you're on track. So without further ado, let's jump in here. Let me get rid of this slideshow. This is the TCN account. Hope you like my flag, very patriotic. The button that we're going to enable with your accounts, this is something new that you guys haven't seen before. This is the Analytics Dashboard button. Clicking on this will get you into the BI tool where you can see all the charts. It will time out after a while, so all you will need to do is go back in, click on this button, open up a new window. Like I mentioned, it's a permission-based tool. Oh, my window pulled up on the other side. It's a permission-based tool, and so it is something that if you don't see right away, you may have to call in and ask for. It could be that we just need to, enable it on your account. Please don't hesitate to do so. We'd love to get this out to as many people as we can. So this is the landing page. What we have here is the insights and the dashboards. Insights are basically just that, a little insight into what's going on. It's just a little table. It could be a graph, just something showing you a little piece of information. You can get complicated, you can stay pretty simple, whatever it might be. There are quite a few. You can create a new one, save one, or even open up some of these existing ones that we have for our clients. These TCN standards, these should work with everybody. If you see any errors, just let us know and we can work through that and get it fixed. Kind of like this. This is sorted by agent. You can see that it's sorted by the agent name, and it's holding up to the 200. What it shows is the amount of calls that each agent's taking, separated by inbound, manual. It's also showing how many are short calls. Short calls are an easy and a very fast way of looking at calls that, for example, on inbound, you call in, find out who it is, they hang up immediately. Also with outbound, perhaps it's somebody that finds out it's, they recognize the phone number, then they hang up as soon as they can, and it's just as the agent's connecting. So the agent hears dead air. It might not be labeled right by the agent, but this under 5 seconds thing can help you understand what's going on. The agent hours, how long is each agent spending total? This is how long they're working. Then that time is split up into the agent talk time, wrap-up time, and the agent wait time. So ideally we want a high talk time, low wait, and low wrap-up, assuming that your talk time results in right parties. Okay, so let's look at it. Let's look at a dashboard. A dashboard is multiple insights put together, and it helps because sometimes we're able to see the same information put on different time frames, and so that it can be really useful. I'm going to pull up just the campaign dashboard here. This is just a standard one that we have for our clients on the basic version. You can see that we have a little chart here that has the amount collected with total length, or I'm sorry, not collected, but the price of the phone call itself, also with the total attempts, and it's all sorted by call result. I'm able to export it if I need to. I can export it as a CSV, or I can export it, well, actually, yeah, it comes as a CSV. You can see that right there. These graphs, however, they export as just the picture. Let's click here. There we go. The export JPEG, PDF, or a PNG. That can really come in use. That comes in handy when you're trying to email a client. You're trying to let them know, this is where we're at. We can handle your volume, or maybe you want to show them how efficient you are, or even better, you'd like to show them your rate. For every right party, we get a payment. That kind of thing is really what they're looking at. They want to know, well, are you going to be able to get the results that you're promising? And with these charts, you can promise that and show them evidence. These hourly stats, very cool. Your average wrap-up time here in red, average talk time, and a slightly lighter shade of blue is your average waiting time. So what we'd like to see is a really high talk time and low waiting time. Let me get out of here. I think I zoomed in. Pull out. Here we go. So we've got in our days, it seems like consistently we have very low time. It's probably talk time and waiting time. It's very low during the midday, and then evenings and mornings were pretty high with waiting and talk. So if we do zoom in on just one day, we can find out what kind of time is this. Is it talk or is it waiting time? So let's pull off wrap up. We don't want to look at that. We don't want to look at talk time. Okay, so we're really high actually, above 2,000. Let's add talk time, but get rid of waiting. You see we're quite below. We're even below a half mark, and so that shows that we're spending twice as much time. For every minute that we spend talking, we're spending 2 minutes waiting for the next call. That could be a staffing issue. It could be maybe we need to throw another campaign on TCN and bump up the amount of calls going out. But it's definitely something that you would want to look into after seeing this kind of chart. You can see that we have a area code chart or area code count over here. Might be something more useful in terms of compliance. Perhaps we need to know what area codes we're calling. It looks like we have some 1-800 numbers, 1-600 numbers, 1-900 numbers, and then we also have some various other numbers. I would imagine that we don't really want to call 1-900 or 1-500. So eliminating this 58 and these 79 would also save on the bill and kind of help you be a little bit more efficient. This I button right here you see at the top, this is useful. A lot of the times you don't quite know what the use is for the chart. If you do know the use, maybe maybe you just don't understand what it's showing or anything about it. So if you click on the I button, you can kind of get some information. It says, consider the chart when ordering new caller IDs or local inbound lines. Okay, so actually maybe it's not for compliance. Let's take a look at another view. This would be useful if you want to find out where do you call the most. Who are your clientele that you're calling? It looks like 785, you call these 832. These numbers are being called the most. So what that means is if I need to buy a bucket of caller IDs to use, or if I need to maybe buy a new inbound line, I would want to look at these local numbers first. If I'm going the local number route, these are the ones that I would want to look at. Let's move on down here. This is one of my favorites right here. This is something that is also available on the free version. It's very useful in that it helps you save on your bill. Like I mentioned, when I was in the reactivation department, we ran into a lot of clients that would show us something like this. They'd say, look, you know, a third of our calls, probably not that much, but a third of our calls are going to machine hangups or invalids or busy, or they're not being productive calls. And that's something that I think a lot of people have troubles with, is that CRMs don't scrub out calls as they should. They don't keep track over 3-4 months. You really don't know if a number's bad except when you call it. And so this chart will help you understand, should I be calling that number, or is that number a waste of time? Is it a waste of money? You can see that we took all these phone numbers right here at the bottom. These are just a big list of phone numbers. I think we have maybe 1,000 that we pulled right here. And what we did is we gave each call disposition a weight to create this invalid score. If it's an inbound, if it ever shows up in the inbound field, then we know that it's a good number and we don't count it. No matter how many times they got a busy, we won't count it because it called in once. And so it's a pretty safe method, but it also shows you what numbers you probably shouldn't be calling, especially something on this far left over here. It's most likely not a good number. So this very light blue, the teal color, this is the score. This helps us know, okay, from here about, okay, that's when it crosses the line and turns positive. I'm gonna take a chance on this few, but I'm gonna get rid of all of these numbers, and I'm not gonna waste my time calling these anymore. That's a big deal. Just on this one chart, I think that's very useful because, like I mentioned, a lot of clients have told me that that's one of the main reasons that they were thinking about going elsewhere. So having this game changer, it's going to be pretty disruptive. Let's move on to another one. This one right here. One other thing that I want to show you is this time clock right here. You're able to change time frames, not overall, such as when we change the time right here, but instead, well, let's pull this up. We can change the time. It's probably going a lot slower because I am hosting this webinar. This right here allows you to change just this frame, just this insight. So I can look at this, even though we have 7 days up at the top and that's what everything else is showing, I can look at a month to date. And immediately I have the information available. It's very useful. Let's say that I had the same chart, but I had 2 different time frames. It would give me a good idea of where I'm at. Let's say that one's showing me my quarterly view, the other one's showing me my daily. I can tell if I'm up or if I'm down. Do I need to work a little harder? Do I need to, or should I celebrate? It's one of the two, and it helps you know. It's a good idea to know if you can relax or if you really need to pump it up. This hourly call disposition right here really shows my favorite thing. Not so much that it has the dispositions. That's good information, but what's really useful to me, I know exactly where these people are calling in, or where we're connecting. So I can staff accordingly and make sure that my staff is staying busy and make sure that everybody's being efficient. It goes back to what we were talking about here. We have a dip in the middle of the day. We have a lot of wait time on the ends towards the beginning of the day and the end of the day. If we look at this one now, we see, let's take out any machines answered, any of these. Let's just look at abandoned and unconnected. It's good that we don't have abandoned, but we do have quite a few unconnected calls, and it looks like the highest amount is around noon. That might be, see, I don't know, but it might be a change in shift. It might be a overlap of two different shifts, and maybe that's just not a good time. It could be a number of different things, but that's why we'd want to find out and explore that option a little bit further in depth. And so it's really good to be able to have both of these things together that gives us that idea. Okay, let's take a look at some of these more in-depth ones. I said that there was going to be, these are the basic ones that are on the free version, but there are a few that we've worked with some clients, and we've been able to get in with them and find out what they're looking for. What are some of the things that they want to know? One really interesting thing is they wanted to know, how much money am I collecting on a certain basis? Am I able to see that going forward from week to week? This chart we developed with that in mind. Not only do we have a payment per right party connection, but we have how much talk time, agent talk time, on a right party connection per full-time agent hour. Then we also just have a lump sum of amounts that they're collecting, that each agent collects, and then we also have the wait times. Having things broken down by right party connect or broken down by full-time agent is an immense help. Knowing, hour by hour, are we up, are we down, are we doing well, what kind of things need to happen so the next hour is good. If you want to get in there and really manipulate things that well, this is just for you. This will help you. If you're just kind of an overall spatial kind of person that just wants to throw in a few tactics and watch it happen, this will probably bore you. But let's get into here a little bit further. Along the lines of that, we're able to find out, it's not shown here, but we're able to find out how much effort a agent needs to put in order to get a payment. Are they a 3-hour agent to get one payment, or are they a 2-hour agent? How valuable are they? Do they know what they're doing? Also, it helps rank the agents so that you know which ones are your agents that are golden. Perhaps those ones can come back and train the ones that are on the opposite end of the scale. This graph right here is broken down by, once again, by your conversations, but by full-time agent hour. Let's pull off these other ones, make it a little bit cleaner so we can see. I'm going to leave this one on. You can see here we got the screen. This would be the total conversations, how many conversations we're having. So here's the total possible. Looks like the manual, or I'm sorry, this is, okay, so your total RPCs right below how many conversations. So that's actually pretty good. If we could get these to be the same, that would be ideal. That'd be the perfect world, because every conversation we had would be a right party connect. We can see that this manual, we're doing great in manual. We've met it. This day on the 22nd of October, we met it, and we were able to have just as many conversations as we had payments, and so that's really good. Scroll down here. This is the rate of conversations to our end goal. How many conversations are we having until we get our payments? So it looks like manual, once again, is coming out on top. Every conversation that we had resulted in the end goal, resulted in our payment. Not so much with the outbound. Looks like our outbound in the morning, not so well, but towards the end of the day, it actually picked up quite a bit, and we met the same goal. We got the 100%. Our inbound, probably, that seems like the inbound was actually turned off, or maybe the number switched without me knowing. So that's something that we'd want to look into before we actually call it law. But it is very useful to know all this information. This is just a sample of what we're able to do. We can go so much further into that, or in depth. We're able to see, like I was saying, per agent, how much are they doing? Not only per agent hour. We could look at, let's take Felicia for example. We could look at her and see that she's able to collect $20 for every hour that she's working, and that only means 5 calls, and then we can take into account how much she's getting paid, and we can come up with an ROI on how well she's doing. If she's subpar, then we're able to give her training. We could dig into it even further and find out, well, is she not getting good calls, or is she not able to transition a good call into a payment? Maybe she's not able to transition into a conversation. You're really able to drill in and find exactly what it is. What is it that you need to work on? How can we become more efficient and get our end goal? Let's get into the pricing. I know you guys are very anxious. That was mentioned quite a few times. It looks like in the questions that we had. The price points came up often, and so let me go into that, and I'll try and explain it the best I can, so that the questions are answered. Next slide. So we have it split up into 2. You can see that the standard version is the one that I started with. It consists of 5 dashboards, which have anywhere from, I think, 6 insights to 3 insights. You can download the information. You can look at it. You can get the access for about 2 weeks. It'll be a guaranteed 2 weeks, and then you might have a little bit of extra time that floats in there every once in a while. It is free to use, and you get basic navigation help. What that means is that you're able to call into support, the current support department, and you can ask, how do I see this? I know you guys have this on the free version. Where is it? How do I change time frames? What buttons do I need to click to download this? Or basic navigation help. The professional version is a 300 minimum. It comes with the consultation. We really don't want to just hand out the ability to read and write, create new dashboards, insights, without having a chance to talk to you. Being inside the analytics department, we've noticed that it is so easy to get false information and believe it to be true. A lot of the times we would put together an insight and think, wow, that's amazing. We're instant billionaires. That's because sometimes you put in the wrong information. You think you're calculating it correctly, it's not calculated correctly, or you grab the wrong data point to begin with. And so having some training, it's going to help a lot. You're not going to get the false information that we experienced. Not saying that we ever thought we were going to be billionaires. Anyway, moving on. So with the professional, you'll pay per, it's like pay per use, it's pay per data point. What data point means is it's any information on a call or on the agent session. Each call and each agent session hold information. For example, anything an agent feeds back, that's considered a part of the data point. So it's 0.05 of a penny per data point. You get the unlimited time frame. If you wanted a full year or if you wanted a month, you can go back and forth between the two. That is completely fine. And your dashboards are completely configurable. You can create as many as you'd like. You can create as many insights as you like. Change up what information they're showing, and make changes on the fly. You do have access to the business analytics team. We are more than happy to give you consultations and be able to show you what's going on. There is a 3-hour, not minimum, a 3-hour maximum per month that we want to put on, mostly because we feel like in 3 hours we can show you what we need to get done. We're willing to help you out. We're willing to create a few, you know, and 3 hours seems very fair to us. After that, if you do need more help figuring things out and going through things, feel free to give us a call. Just be aware that it is billed at a $150 per hour. Let's move on. I think if you have any questions with that, don't hesitate to call in. Ask for the business intelligence department or the BI team, and we'll be more than happy to get those questions answered. That's everything that I have to show. If you're ready to get this turned on, once again, email us. You can contact Bryce Payne at tcnp3.com. Don't send him any questions. Like I said, this webinar is a recording. We had some audio issues on the live, and so you can contact him. Don't send him. Okay, right here. Once again, not so much with the inbound. Inbound's kind of lacking today. The outbound, right party per full-time employee, doing really well. Looks like we have 5 well, not quite 5, 3.8 outbound right party connects per hour that each employee works. If you had 20, that would be quite a few. If we had a smaller collection floor, obviously we're not looking at that many. The manual, however, is also actually not doing it so well. So they get fewer right parties, but they are able to turn all of those right parties into payments. So it's very interesting to know and very helpful. So what we might want to do is staff up on manual dial and make sure that we maximize that ability to turn every right party we get into a payment. Over here, we have a little bit more depth that we can see. This line right here, this blue, very interesting because we're able to, if the agents calculate it correctly, if they enter the information, we can grab that and we can say, okay, this is how much payments they've collected. Right now, we're looking 8,000%. Maybe I shouldn't have shown that. I'm not quite sure why or what that means. But basically, we're looking at our ability to track how much money we're on track to pick up. Are we going to meet our end goal? Are we on track for the month? Do our agents need more training, or are they doing great? Another great thing is that we would be able to turn this same information and do it on a per agent scale. Once again, not only could we reward the agents that are doing really well and start training the agents that are not doing so well, but we can also know strategy-wise, what are the agents doing that is so successful? Is it just because they're on an inbound campaign? Is it because they're on manual? Or is it maybe the tone of their voice? Is it, you know, it could be a number of things. It could be the campaign that they're running, or it could just be the list. A lot of times the lists vary quite drastically. So this information is extremely important because you are able to put it on autopilot. Like I said, you can make simple changes in the beginning and then move on and go on with what you need to get done in the month, and then come back to this and it's already calculating for you. As I mentioned, there are the 2 separate packages. These more in-depth insights that I've been showing you, they are the paid prescription. There's something where the client, we want the client to come to us, chat with us. We want to get to know what your end goal is. Where do you want to be in 3 months, or where do you want to be in a year, and what weaknesses are you trying to get rid of in your strategies? With that information, we can go ahead and help you pull the right kind of information, start logging it, and then create the right kind of graphs. And with that, then you no longer have to deal with us. You have it. It's on autopilot. You can continue and move on forward. Hopefully, later on, you realize that there's one more area that you might want to improve. Come back to us. We'll talk through it, figure out what we need to do, and what plan we need to put into action. So the price point is broken down. We've got 2 steps. Basically, the first half that I showed you is the standard package. There's no consultation or configuration. However, there is a support team that you're able to call into and get questions answered. Simple navigation, and if there's any errors or anything missing or inaccuracies, feel free to give us a call. Call support, and they can help you out. It is free. You have a rolling 2-week window of information that you can see. Sometimes that'll turn into a full 3 weeks. If you get towards the end, and then that last week will cut off, and you'll be again with the most recent 2 weeks. You have the 5 configured dashboards. So with that, there's 5 dashboards. You have a few insights that are already set in there, and a lot of the insights cover quite a bit of information. I think they're very useful. They also cover a little bit more information than you're used to seeing, I think, with the current P3 reports. They complement each other, that's for sure, but I think that it's a little easier to understand on the BI tool. Evaluation and any of these other things, not quite available on the free version, but you do have the data download where you can download the reports, and then you can view them. With the professional, however, there is the consultation, $300 minimum. You pay per month on usage or on data point. So with small clients, it's not going to be a very big bill. It's per data point. Let me explain what a data point is. Anything that's a call attempt or an agent session. So agent session has quite a bit of information tagged to it. Same thing with a call. Each particular call is each particular piece of information is a data point, and so that's why it's priced at that. We're looking at 5/100th of a penny. You do have an unlimited amount of history that you can pull. If you wanted to go back a year, that'd be fine. If you wanted to then cut to just a month and then pull up a year again later on, that's fine. Also with the configuration, you as a client have the permission to create as many as you'd want and have as much creativity in that. You also have, with the consultation, you have us to be able to ask and find out if after creating it you have any errors. You can call us and find out. The implementation, that's part of the consultation. We'll be happy to meet with you. Our business analytics team will meet with you and find out where you want to be, what kind of things you're trying to overcome, and with that we can prescribe some graphs, some charts, and then also go over it with you later on and decide what they're telling. We can help you understand the graphs, and you as a client can help us understand what that means on your call floor. What would a big dip in the chart mean? We'll give you the training. Basically, we want to be very networked. We want you to get the most value out of this, and so we're willing to meet with you, work with you, and help you understand everything that there is with this business intelligence tool. And then also with that, 3 hours, we feel like 3 hours is a good cap per month. We'll make sure not to waste any time on the call so that you're not feeling like you're wasting time or not getting everything you need out of it. But 3 hours is, I think, about as much as we'd be able to handle. So any more above 3 hours, it's billed at $150 per hour. So there's the option if you need it. If you have any questions, feel free to email Bryce Payne. You can also email service, and they'll get you in touch with our business analytics team. That is everything that we have. I hope that explained things well for you. If you were on the webinar, on the live webinar, you do get a 20% discount on the first month of the Professional Business Intelligence. Just make sure that you let us know and we'll apply it. And on that, I appreciate you guys taking your time out. Thanks for joining.